me. You come into my town and you shit the shit down. Woo-ha! I say you come into my town and you shut the shit down. Woo-ha! You tell me Corona's around now. You come into my town and you tell me shut the shit down. Woo-ha! You shut my town down. Why are you coming to my town and telling me to shut everything down? You tell me Corona around now. I tell you get the fuck out of my town. Why you come into my town and totally shut everything down? You tell me you come into Wuhan and you shut everything the fuck down. You come into my town and you shut the shit down. Wuhan, you shut my town right down. You tell me Corona here and it's coming around. Wuhan, you shut my town down. You come right into my town right now. You shut my shit right the fuck down. Wuhan, Wuhan, you shut my town down. Why are you coming to my town and shut the shit down? Woo-ha! You shut me right the fuck down. You come into my town and you shut me down. Woo-ha! You shut my town right down. You tell me Corona here and you're coming around. Woo-ha! You shut my town right down. You shut my town right down. You shut my town right down. Shut my town right down. You shut my town right down.
This program contains graphic material, including offensive language. Viewer discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to fucking Foul Play.
Oh, yeah.
I'm here with the man himself, the one and only Lucky Low.
It's good to be here.
And we're coming to you live from New York with Foul Play on a night where we got a lot to fucking talk about tonight, folks.
Shout out to the nation.
Shout out to the one and only nation, the one and only chat. What is up to everybody out there on a Thursday night?
Serious stuff to discuss.
9:08 Eastern, coming to you from New York, where the world is in fucking chaos. Chaos.
What's new?
I mean, it's really in chaos right now, man. I mean, we're really this world is just completely upside down right now. We got the shit going on with Trump, which we're not really going to get into tonight, but
I'm so tired of hearing that.
yeah, it's like just to hear Shift and all these guys, it's just
ended already.
It's getting so old, man. It really
Serious.
is. It really is. So we're not going to be talking about that tonight. We're going to be talking about mainly this and shit. And Lo wanted to bring up some funny shit to me. He was talking to me before we went live about some cockroach fucking.
Yeah, it's got to do with insects. So basically, for all you folks out there, if anybody's interested, there's a United States zoo in El Paso that's holding an event called Quit Bugging Me. And this event basically is where you can name cockroaches and insects after your ex-lovers. And then they'll feed it to the animals at the zoo.
The fuck?
So if anybody's interested, the event will be going from February 1st to the 15th. You could just sign up on their website and, put your ex's name down and just give a small donation. And they'll feed the insect to the animals.
Isn't that
and
great?
It's basically a way of having closure. So like anybody out there that has an annoying ex that is like a stalker and doesn't leave you alone.
You can basically feed them to an animal now.
Right, you can name a cockroach after your ex.
There you go. Name a cockroach after the ex right there.
What kind of world are we living in?
It is a fucked up world.
What has this world come to?
I don't know, man, but this world is completely fucked up. They're saying there's 6 known cases in the U.S. now
of this coronavirus.
This goes a lot deeper than everybody thinks.
It goes very deep, and we're going to get pretty knee deep in it tonight. We're going to go and, we have, I have my beliefs on this whole thing, and
right.
You have yours, and a lot of people out there have theirs of how this got started, how this is even occurring.
There's a lot of speculation right now.
Yeah, how this is even occurring, and how this got started and all that shit. And, I've heard the
let's start from the top.
Well, all right, so listen, I've heard the scientific reasonings behind how this outbreak happened, right?
Okay.
Which, I'll tell you right now, this is what the scientists are saying. They said that the disease was contracted through an animal that was bought at a food market not too far away from the first couple of cases in Wuhan. This meat market in Wuhan. Supposedly this meat market in Wuhan.
Right, it wasn't confirmed.
No, it's not. You can't confirm it. How are they going to confirm it? So, but a lot of people are saying that that's bullshit. That's not true. It didn't start there. Some people are saying that, and listen, I'm no scientist, so I don't know dick. But all I know is that some scientists are saying that this disease wouldn't exist if it wasn't man-made.
Of course. As we know.
That's basically what they're saying, some of them. Some of them are saying that this disease wouldn't exist unless it was man-made.
Right, but as we know, there was a lab in the area not too far away from the market where supposedly the virus was spread.
Which is really weird because it has the same fucking logos.
The same logo as the Umbrella Corporation
as Resident Evil. How fucking weird is that shit? Let me put it up on the screen for you guys, man. It's fucking weird. I mean, it's the same fucking umbrella at this place that's on the Resident Evil shit.
Listen, you have to look at it from a different point of view sometimes. Everybody out there doesn't all agree, like you said earlier. Everybody has a different opinion on the situation.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you look a little bit deeper, if you just listen to what the news tells you, that you can't take that as fact. So when you look deeper, you realize, look what happened at 9/11 in New York City. What happened when we got attacked?
Yeah.
What happened?
What do you mean? What happened?
Yeah, what happened? Oh.
Goddamn segways. Oh, shit. Oh, it's always on my mind. Oh, I want to fuck me up some cops. They caught me. King, it's Kane. King, it's Kane. It's Kane. Cerebral palsy.
I'll buy 3 cockroaches. I'll call them Crystal, Debe, and Eminem's ex-wife Kim.
Oh, Jesus, Kim.
Get him some cockroaches.
Thank you, Mr. Ballpark. Ballpark Frank, baby.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it's going to turn into, Resident Evil. Some people said this is the beginning of the end.
No, but what I was saying basically about 9/11 was, after that really terrible attack, everybody came together.
Yeah.
And everybody, at that point, started to rely on the government.
Oh, yeah. That's why we signed over half our rights.
Right. So the way I'm looking at it is, as of right now, we had the protests going on in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
After the virus was released, what happens at that point? Well, it slows people down. People get sick. They can't go out and protest.
Wow, that's
and
fucked
this is
up.
not only happening in China.
So
this
are you
France.
So is this what you're saying? Somebody might have released this to stop the protesting.
That's one aspect of it.
Jesus Christ, dude. If that is the truth, which I doubt it is, but if that is the truth, we live in a more fucked up world than we know.
Well, I mean, you have tons of people going against their own government. At that point, how convenient for a virus to come out in that area, in that country, and infect those people.
Yeah.
Regardless of how it was released, people are infected.
Yeah.
People are getting sick and they're dying over there. And I think that a lot of it is fear-mongering. I think that these people want us to be afraid because it lowers your immune system. And it makes it easier for the virus to actually attack you. What are your thoughts on the whole situation?
I mean,
I understand that you said it came from an animal. But what is your thoughts
well,
as far as...
I don't necessarily believe, what I'm being told anyway. I mean, obviously, like we're just left in the dark on so many fucking things. So it's like I don't really believe anything I hear anymore. You know what I mean? And I don't know what to fucking believe because, to tell you the truth, you can go on the internet and you can research all you want. You can go to the library. You can read books. You can ask questions. You can talk to people who know more than you, and you can do all that. But at the end of the day, are the books right? Is the internet right? Is that person right? Is this right? Like, who the fuck knows what is what at the end of the day anyway? Like, so it's all just one big combobulated fucking ball of whatever the fuck is going on is going on.
Yeah, but
I
it's
have no
better
clue.
if we stay ahead of the game and we know what the agendas are, so
I
we
get
can
that,
stop them.
But this is the
happens.
type of thing that I think has been going on from day one in the world. Like, there's been breakouts of all sorts of disease.
You have to understand. This is just my opinion.
Has it there?
This is just my opinion, but a lot of people think like, some Messiah is going to come down and save the planet or something. It's up to us.
Oh, some
the
people
that
do.
live here.
Well, some people do believe that, and some people do believe that
but
he's
it's
not
up
going
to
to come
us
down
to
and save
fix
the earth.
these problems. Nobody's going to come save us. We have to do it ourselves. So it starts with us.
What if we just
let
the next generation take care of it?
What, and
No,
give
I
them
know,
a
just
pile of shit?
Be lazy about it.
I mean, that's what happened for the past, 5 decades? That's why we're in the situation we're in right now.
No,
that's why we're in huge debt.
You can't say that. 5 decades, because there were some good people busting their ass in those decades that
it's the same
tried
politicians.
to make things better.
These are career politicians.
You already know how I feel about politicians, and we had a talk earlier about how I feel about politicians and career politicians. Like, so, like I don't like any politicians.
I'm sorry.
I don't like any.
They've been in office for so long.
I don't like Republican. I don't like any of them. I don't like any career.
We're in the problems, and this is why we have problems, because of these politicians that never left office.
Career politicians, I do not want nothing to do with. Career politicians, people who have ran multiple times and been in office for 30, 40 years, like this fucking Adler guy, and I don't want to get on this shit, but that guy's been in office for like 30 fucking years. It's sickening. Like, these people are in office for too long. There should be a limit. There should be some kind of limit. Why do you have a limit? Why is there a limit on the president, right? But there's not a limit on these assholes that run the inner core of the U.S. Why is that? Like, what if we have a president that goes into the office and does great things, and hey, he did so many great things, or she did so many great things in 8 years, that, man, we would really love to have this person in there for another 8 years, because it can make things even that much better. But guess what? You did 8 years, can't do it.
Whether you're on the left or the right, up or down, whatever party you claim, it doesn't matter, because people are waking up to bullshit. Everybody knows that there's something going on, whether they want to admit it or not. And, we're at a point where history is being made. So you could basically say we're rewriting history at this point. Yeah, but
history's always being made, bro. Every day.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah, it is. It's the same, man. History was made back in the day. It's just the same as making history today.
Not on the brink of destruction and war.
Yeah, there was, man. What are you kidding me? We were on the brink of destruction and war so many fucking times already throughout history.
Right, but I'm saying more in an aspect of we don't want to repeat history over and over again.
No,
so it's something
but
different.
We always do, because look at fucking World War I, directly led to World War II. Both of those wars are called World War I and World War II, but in reality, those are one war that had a break 20 years in between, because people still fought over the same decisions that were made at the end of the First World War. You know what I mean? So it's like it was a never-ending fight. It just took a lull for 20 years and then started back up again, because people were like, well, I don't like this decision that was made. Well, you lost in a war. You can't go back on your decision. Well, I'm going to anyway. And then bang, we're back in fucking war again. But it's like fucking, it's like I don't know, man.
This younger generation that's growing up, they don't want war.
You made sense.
They don't want to see war.
Listen, not that I don't believe, but I don't like think some of the stuff you come up with is like on point. But when you said that
As
thing
far as
about
what?
Well, a couple of things, but when you said that thing about, hey man, like you don't see anybody rioting and shit anymore and protesting and stuff like that, right? And I was like, damn, that is true.
Well, if you get
Like-
sick, it slows
Like,
you
let me
down.
put it to you this way. Let me put it to you this way. If I'm like a
It's
dictator,
life-threatening.
if I'm like a dictator, right, and I'm like, all right, all these people are protesting against me, and they're really, I look stupid to the outside world. People don't want me in power anymore. They're all protesting against me. What could I do to like stop this all from happening without killing everybody? Yo, the perfect fucking thing. Just create a fucking.
Well, not only that,
just
that's
create
why
a
I said
disease.
It also spread to France as well, and they're having
now it's
protests
spreading,
in France.
but it's
as of
also in
right
the
now
U.S.
as well.
It's also in the U.S. It's everywhere now. It's like basically fucking in so many places now. You know?
Right. The police in France were fighting these firefighters as they put themselves on fire.
Yeah, dude, that was crazy.
It was
I saw
insane.
that. I saw that, man. That was fucking. What was the deal with that?
It's about gas pricing and just minimum
Jesus,
wage,
they're
and
hurting
it's
their
just a lot
firemen?
about just equal opportunity.
But they're hurting
you
their
know.
firemen, though, man. Like, why hurt your firemen? Those are the guys that, like, you know, save the infrastructure
I mean, they're
of
very
your country,
passionate,
man.
and they want to see a change. I mean, these guys are crazy. They light themselves on fire. I mean, that's just insane.
I mean, the firemen actually lit themselves on fire. You're telling me?
Right, and now we have 5.
I thought.
confirmed
Wait a
cases
second.
in
I
France.
thought that the firemen were being lit on fire from someone else.
No,
And you're telling me that that's
it's
not
to
the case.
prove
It
a
was-
point about the gas.
And they lit themselves on fire.
Yeah, you can go look it up.
Jesus Christ! Did they killed them? They killed themselves?
No,
No. Somebody put them out.
I mean, if anybody died, I don't know about it. So,
Damn, man. Man,
but
people.
I mean, back to the coronavirus in general. Okay?
people will
We
do
can
some
look at-
crazy shit, man. People will do some crazy shit, man. I'll tell you that right now.
Right, and midway through the show, folks, we're going to be opening up the phone lines if anybody wants to call in and weigh in on this, subject. If you guys have any kind of different opinion, maybe you see it a different way, maybe you think that this was done for a different reason, we'd love to hear from you.
I personally think that, and I want to believe that diseases pop up, shit pops up, and we got to deal with it and hope that it doesn't get out of control, and hopefully we have good people.
Diseases do pop up.
Yeah, I'm
viruses,
saying hopefully we
what
have good
you.
people
But
fucking
how
that know what they're
convenient.
doing. You know what I mean?
You got to look at the timing. How convenient was this released? Or even if it wasn't released, let's say somebody actually got sick, even though they eat these fucking animals like that, forever.
Yeah,
They've been eating
some
animals
nasty
that way.
shit, man. They do eat some fucking.
Look at the timing and how convenient that is, and look at what else is going on.
Yeah.
Whether you think it's a distraction from something else, you have to look at. You got to look a little bit deeper.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's obvious, right? Don't we have to look deeper into
And
everything?
we got to stop relying on the government to save us from everything. Because if these are the people that are actually causing these issues, why would we rely on them? Because they don't give a shit about us.
Well, I don't rely on the government, man. What do you mean? Like, what,
Well,
you're just
like I
saying
said, when stuff like this
people in
happens,
general.
they shut down borders. You can't leave. Okay, there's no in and out.
Yeah, well, that's what
So
they
who
did.
do you
They
rely
shut
on
that
at
shit
that
down,
point?
man.
You rely on your government.
Well, like you said, after 9/11, what do? We signed over half of our fucking freedoms for the Patriot Act,
Well,
so they
the
could go in,
control-
so they can go and find the terrorists before they hurt us, right?
The security got tighter.
Is that what we did, right or wrong? Isn't
They
that what we
actually
did?
gained more control over people at
But listen
that
to me,
point.
isn't that what we did basically? Didn't we basically say, all right, here's some of our freedoms because we're afraid that these terrorists are going to kill us and they're going to hurt us again. Here's our freedoms. Go and tap our.
Well, I don't believe that. No, because
No, what do you believe then?
everybody has free will.
What?
But it's when you give your power to something else.
What does free will
is
have to do with it, dude?
everything?
What does free will have to do with the Patriot Act?
I'm saying in general, free will in general, like the same thing with as far as
You're
with this
not
whole
ans-
situation
you're not-
with the
no,
government.
you're not answering my question.
We were just talking about the government.
I know, but I'm saying like what like we signed over our freedoms because we were afraid.
Yeah, but not everybody did.
Well, no, you're right, but a lot of people did. They were like, "Yeah, get that Patriot Act signed, man. We don't want to deal with these terrorists anymore. Like
It's
we don't
Agenda
want to."
21. Okay, depopulation. Another aspect.
Diplomatic immunity, okay?
Listen,
Trump's got diplomatic immunity.
if anybody knows about United Nations and Agenda 21, the whole plan is to depopulate.
Doesn't that mean to destroy
it's like
all the
killing
Jedi?
2 birds with 1 stone.
Isn't that when you destroy all the Jedi?
All the Jedi.
Yeah, isn't that what'd you say it was?
Depopulation.
No, the code.
The code, Agenda 21.
See, Agenda 21. It's kind of like the code they used to kill all the Jedi in the Star Wars movie. There's a code for it. Agenda. Well, what is the agenda, and who is it by?
Well, like I said, there's all different opinions, different.
All right. What's your
theories.
opinion on it, and what's your theory on it? What do you truly believe is the deal?
I believe to some extent it's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I feel like not only do they get depopulation, because that's one of the most populated countries in the entire fucking world.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's one of the best spots to fucking do something like that if you're gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
And
what in China? You're saying in China?
The second stone would be
wait,
to
just
use
real quick. You're saying in China is a good spot to do that?
Well, it's overpopulated. They have limits on how many children you can have.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't you do that first if you're trying to depopulate?
Yeah.
Right? It just makes sense.
Watch out for the algorithms, bro. Don't say anything stupid. I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking around. I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
Too late.
I really don't give a fuck anyway.
Just edit it out later.
Who cares, bro?
That's all right. All right, so basically the second stone would be, I think about it this way.
Rosetta?
If martial law were to ever come into effect, that's the best way to test it out, as by, having a virus spread and people being sick, because now you don't have people fighting against the government, and you'll just be staying inside your house, locked in. They'll shut the borders down.
You know something?
You can't get
Listen,
out.
what you're talking about right now is something that people used to talk about in the 60s too, man, in the 70s.
Fucking Resident Evil type
No, and
shit.
I'm telling you, you are right, because there was plans like this that were like already talked about from our government and like higher ups back in the day about like, if shit broke out, like, a disease.
But there's also one more thing I want to add to that.
It's fucking crazy, dude.
There's one more aspect that, I feel like a lot of people don't look at. And that would be like a spiritual aspect to it.
Yeah.
For people out there that aren't spiritual, or you're not religious, whatever, it's just an opinion. But I feel like manifestation is a real thing. And I feel like if we can manifest, now if the masses manifest and they pay attention to these things that are happening, they're so negative, and I feel like they feed off fear. So people are basically feeding the beast. You're feeding the belly of the beast by even giving attention to it, nonetheless, being in fear. So a lot of it is fear mongering. You see, like, the media will continue to repeat the same stuff over and over again. And it's all negative. You're never going to find positive news.
No,
so
it's hard to find.
That's just another theory that I have.
Well, here in New York right now,
confirmed,
like local major news here in New York right now is that kid that the cop left in the garage overnight during one of the coldest nights of the fucking year, and the kid died.
Wow.
And that's like the major news right now in New York, what's been going on over here,
That's
man.
terrible.
It's fucking, they're covering every second of it, because the funeral was today, and now the father and the girlfriend or whatever are going to be going up for murder charges now for this kid.
Holy shit.
Yeah, fucked up, man, what happened, man. They locked this kid in the garage because he pissed his bed. And the mother was warning people. He's a cop, a New York City cop, and he went to court to keep his kids, right? And he got custody of his kids because he told the court that she was crazy. And they basically believed him because he was a cop, right? And he got custody of the kids. She went back and told the courts, listen, you're making a big mistake. My husband's a psycho. I'm afraid for their lives, my kids, right? And they were like, nah, you're just saying that because you don't want him to have custody. A year later, the kid dies in the garage because he locked him in there because he pissed in his bed. And it was because it was cold out. It was fucking freezing.
It's a fucking child.
So now that happened, and everybody's like, what the fuck, man? Like, everybody's
that's
up.
crazy.
Everybody's
Why
up in
would
arms
they do
now.
such a thing.
Yeah, dude, it's fucked up. And this poor mother was like, I warned everybody, and nobody helped me. None of you motherfuckers helped me. They were like, you gave him special treatment because he was a cop, which they did. And it was, oh, man, it was fucked up. So, like, something's going to come out of that big, like, some kind of fucking terrible shit.
Now, I want to ask you about one more theory that I've heard.
Okay.
Over the internet as far as this coronavirus, and a lot of people are saying that it has a lot to do with vaccinations.
Oh, the coronavirus,
Now,
really?
Yes.
Like maybe it formed from the actual, like getting the shot for it, like a shot or something.
Well, basically, like, oh, there's a virus out. People are getting sick. They're dying. We have a vaccination. We want you to take it.
Yeah.
If you won't take it, they're saying supposedly they'll have to go into camps and all this crazy shit. That's where, it starts to
now
get down
we're talking
to
about fucking camps now. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
People are
but that's the
nuts.
thing. It's not a good way to think, but at the same time, too, you have to have an open mind. So, as far as this whole vaccination thing goes, what do you believe? Do you believe that they're dangerous for people, or do you think that they're safe?
I'll tell you what.
Can actually...
All right, so anyway, my kids get their shots. They've always have.
Right.
They've always got the flu shot. They've always got like all that stuff. And like I never, I've spoken to their pediatrician. I've known this guy since day one, since they were little babies, right? And they still go to him, right? And he's a good guy. He really is a good dude. And he knows his shit. He's a really good doctor. Now, when he tells me, Ken, I'm telling you, it's not like what you hear and what people are saying is bullshit. And he like told me straight up and down, like, it's not like that. It's not like what people are saying and this and that. So I don't think this guy would lie to me. You know what I mean?
Would a used car salesman tell you that he's saving you?
But he's not a used car
saving
salesman.
you money, and he's going to keep the commission.
But he's not a used car salesman, man. He's a fucking really
I'm
good
just
doctor
saying
that's
in
looking
general,
out for my
is
kids.
He a good buddy of yours,
he knows
or?
Yes, he is, and he knows these kids since they're fucking infants. And I don't think that he would be pumping shit into these kids if he knew what was going on.
Well, you could say that about any doctor.
So then he either doesn't know what's going on, or he doesn't know what's going on, and it's not going on like you think it is. With the vaccines.
So basically, you're saying that vaccinations are good and they prevent disease.
That's what he's telling me, man. Unless he doesn't know and he thinks they're good. That's what he's saying, man. And I trust him because he really is a great doctor. He really is. So, and he's not a bad guy, and he has no reason to lie to me. So I don't know, but that's if he knows. What if he doesn't know and he's putting these shits in the kids and people, and so I don't know, man.
I don't know who. You know what? The question is like, who the fuck really knows? Because
I know that's what I'm saying.
We don't know.
Well, that's
all
why
we can do is speculate.
That's why I said what I said before. Oh shit!
Oh,
Mr. Kal-El, Biggity Bama, baby. Yeah. White bitch, I ain't getting no more white bitches, no motherfucking more. You fucking white cunt. Oh fuck this white bitch. With the Kal-El Baba, baby.
I remember in '95 a dangerous airborne virus killed a lot of civilization in a little town caused by an African monkey carrying the virus.
Oh shit.
The U.S. Army was going to nuke the town.
What? That's true? The U.S. Army was going to nuke the fucking town? Damn, bro. I mean, you've seen movies about that shit, you know what I mean? So it's like...
that's some next level shit.
But I didn't know that like really happened, because if that really happened, that's fucking scary, man. Imagine being in that town, and the U.S. Army's like, I think we might have to nuke that bitch.
Well, they have stuff like that in the movies, but...
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, I never knew that really happened, like in real life, I gotta look that up, man. That's crazy shit.
I don't know if something like that could be done and no one would know.
Well, I mean, apparently people do know. I mean, did you ever hear about that town, dude, that had all these people missing? Like the whole town was missing?
No. What town was this?
Oh, dude, this was a fucked up story I heard on here on YouTube. And it was about this town that like was basically missing. It was fucking missing.
The town was missing.
Yeah,
I think you're talking about a show on Netflix.
No, I'm telling you, dude, it was real, dude. And they have the actual, I'm telling you, well, I don't know if it was real, but I know that phone call conversations were real. They had this guy that actually, this dude called the police department like 10 times and was like, you got to help me. There's these people out in front of my house. And like, They're like, it's really weird what's going on. I don't know what's going on. This is really weird. All the townspeople are out in their front yards, and the lady's like, sir, what the fuck are you talking about? And he was like, I don't know what's going on. You got to help me. You got to send a cop here, right? So this cop, that's the story. This cop drives around for fucking hours, and he can't find this town that he's always found his whole life because he lived next county over. And he said that he couldn't find the town. No matter how many times he drove around in the same area that he's always been in, he couldn't find this fucking town.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, dude. And then he said at the end of the night, after driving around 4 hours and scratching fucking head like, what is going on? That all of a sudden, boom, there's the town now.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Let's open up the phone lines. Let's see if anybody wants to weigh in.
Crazy fucking story, man. A crazy story on YouTube.
Yeah, folks, if you want to call in and you want to weigh in on any of the topics, or you have something you want to talk about, 516-554-0002.
You know, fucking, well, that's what some people were saying is going to happen in China, that this town is so badly fucking, you know, with the coronavirus, there's so many people that have it now that they're quarantining the whole entire town, but they're going to fucking...
I highly doubt it.
Well, I doubt they would nuke it, but I'm saying, like, they're not... Dude, nobody's getting out of there anytime soon. And, like, there's tourists that are there, that are being kept there.
You know what the thing is? It's like there's so much going on right now.
But did you know that, dude?
It's like mentally stressful. You know, like people get stressed the fuck out by just listening to the news. It's so repetitive.
There's tourists that are stuck.
Fucking bullshit.
There are tourists that are stuck in this fucking town, man.
There's fucking people stuck on a cruise ship in Italy right now.
Yes, that is true. There's a ton of them stuck on a cruise ship.
All because of the coronavirus.
Yeah. Yep. Because they thought that somebody on the boat had it, and apparently now they checked out the boat, and they said that came back negative for some shit. But
well, I don't know what the case is, but that's the thing. You see shit like that, and as it spreads, all these people that are getting sick, I mean, your body could fight it naturally. They said that this thing is like mixed strains combined. So it's like some fucking like super virus.
Yeah, it says that
was created.
It says that it's fucking up people like 3 times as fast as SARS did. SARS, whatever it was called.
Yeah, SARS.
The SARS remind me. So I guess it's more of a high-powered fucking, you know, and that it also mutated. It's already mutated, they said. And that's important.
Well, that's the thing. It makes you wonder. And it makes you think, where did this thing come from?
Oh, that reminds me right there.
From an animal.
Planes are still landing in America from China. Why is that? And there's that meat market right there on your screen that people are saying the coronavirus started at.
Well, a lot of people are actually very upset right now because of the fact that they want travel bans. And they don't want any of these people that are infected to come to where they are. And people are actually wearing masks on subways around Chinese people, which a lot of people think is very racist. Just because they're Chinese doesn't mean that they actually are infected.
That's fucked up, yeah.
But it is understandable. I get, you know, that thought process of maybe they came from China and they could be. Because they said that the symptoms... you can actually carry the virus without having any symptoms for like the first
they said that it would last a while like that. Yeah, you last a while without seeing any symptoms whatsoever.
Right.
Yeah. Could you imagine Chinese people on the train in New York City and like all of a sudden the person doesn't have like a mouth thing on, the Chinese person comes in, the thing sits down and they put that mouth thing on? Like, that is racist.
Actually, the Chinese people are used to wearing masks
because
I understand
they
that,
have but don't you think that's racist? It is racist, right? Oh, no.
Well, I'm just saying in general. In China, they wear masks because of the air quality.
They wear it everywhere over there, yeah.
Right? So they wear masks as it is. Now everybody has to wear
masks.
There's
Wuhan right there. It's a beautiful fucking place, man. Wuhan.
It is.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
It is.
Even though I've never been there, and I don't plan on ever going.
It's not a shithole, but, I mean, it's going to be. It's going to be after they nuke it. No, I'm just kidding. I got to take a piss real quick.
Not with fucking Resident Evil Corporation there.
All right, if anybody wants to call in, I'll put the numbers up on the screen.
Yeah, let's take some phone calls.
I'll put the numbers up on the screen. Hold on.
Let's hear what anybody has to say about this.
There's the number right there, 516-554-0002. If you want to call in and give us scars, or if you want to call in and wish Corona on us, you can do that right now and wish Corona.
Wish Corona on us?
You could wish Corona.
No thanks.
On me and Lucky Lona.
I'm good.
You could wish some Corona. I wish Corona on you. I wish Corona on you. I wish Corona on you and all your people. Everyone.
Well, that's another thing.
Everyone.
Trump got a team together for this coronavirus. He has like all these top-notch people, right?
And when you coronavirus.
And CNN had the nerve to say that there's no diversity among the team.
Dude, he's such the CNN are a bunch of fucking hacks, bro. Dave Rose, ladies and gentlemen. Well,
that's another thing. Trump got a team together for this coronavirus. He has feedback.
Dave Rose, chat.
I've got myself muted.
Oh, we can hear you now.
So, the coronavirus is quite the interesting bioweapon that was recently released. There's obviously a lot of information. 2007, I should say, May 22nd, patent comes out for coronavirus isolated from humans. Obviously, there's the bioweapon.
Wait, hold on. Let me just stop you right there. The patent, that's another, theory that's out there right now, but is that necessarily for that strain that's out right now?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
They've got a particular acronym for it. I'll look it up if you want. But
people were speculating, and then it came back confirmed that a lot of people were showing pictures of a patent that was for a different strain of coronavirus.
No, this seems to be the one that is.
This is the novel strain.
And apparently it was supposedly developed in Canada because the evidence has already come out that 2 Chinese spies were caught sending this stuff overseas, and they've been arrested and so forth. But this went directly to the Wuhan Level 4 lab.
Jesus.
And apparently, according to the analysis that's been going on, it has an unusual middle segment that's never before been seen in any coronavirus, which is indicative usually of engineering. So,
what is your source, Dave?
I've got several sources. There's Johns Hopkins Institute, for example. There's several other well-known. There's the CDC.
Dave, who gives it to you raw out there and don't beat around the bush when it comes to shit like this? I'm saying, where do you normally go when you want to hear the real deal about something like this? Like, where do you
Everywhere.
go?
Everywhere. I scour the internet for information. I look up points and counterpoints, and if a website says a certain resource, then I go to that and I read the document that they're referring to. And sometimes this document's 300 pages long, but I fucking sit through it and I fucking read through everything and dot the I's and cross the T's and look at any reference that they look into. So I do a lot of research in cross-referencing the information that is presented to me, but I don't stick to one particular site because that would be obviously not only biased, but I want to get both sides. I want to get those that are rightfully so skeptical on the whole situation.
Yeah.
And I want to get those that are totally off the deep end, what would be considered crazy, insane conspiracy.
I want to get it all.
I wanted to get it all. And I'll make up my own mind.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing is, though, the big thing for me is I love to read. I'm very good at reading, and I can read a lot. So when it comes to these documents that they reference, again, this patent document that I'm referring to, which I can, send if you want, it's 300 pages long.
No, we
But
don't need to.
but I read
I believe.
No, but
Jesus.
the point is that I do the research, like I do the legwork. Okay, I'm not a hypocrite.
Right.
And say, well, I saw a headline on CNN, so therefore that must be true. And who cares what anybody else says? I do the
Right.
research necessary. So when I come to these sorts of conclusions, to me, I've got enough evidence to not only back it up, but to believe that is in fact the reality. But Bill Gates.
Well, now as far as a bioweapon that you're saying that this is, what was the agenda behind releasing a bioweapon like that?
Well, I do believe that there's a few possibilities, but we know that it was stolen back to China. It looks like it may have been a weapon that was geared specifically towards Asians, if it was a particular bioweapon, and the Chinese attempted to create a sort of vaccination towards that. They didn't do the math properly, fucked it up, and created something that specifically went towards Asians, as opposed to but didn't attack anybody else to the severity.
That's the first time I'm actually hearing that.
Damn.
I can show you a few references later. Now, here's the curious thing, though, is that there's a lot of evidence, in my opinion, is that this was left look, we already know the Chinese are incompetent. Okay, we know that.
Well, they're very intelligent people.
That's also a lie. And I can prove that as well. But the thing is, though, that we know that they have these open markets, and there is a lot of these viruses that do sort of gestate there. They're sort of ponds or reservoirs of places that these viruses sort of incubate, and then they spread. So it's very possible that this virus was accidentally created and then potentially was released on purpose. Now, would the Chinese do that? I
cause and effect, though.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I don't think it's the Chinese, because despite them being that incompetent, it would cause an economic downturn, which is what they're facing right now.
So
but
what is that lab that's nearby?
It's an actual level 4 bioweapons lab that was basically finished in 2019. I've also got more evidence to back up that as well.
But are you saying that they actually had nothing to do with this?
Oh no, they had a lot to do in developing the weapon.
Oh, okay.
But there's two ways of looking at it. I'm going to go with a little more conspiratorial view, if you want. There's the basic level. Okay. What we have right now is evidence enough to point towards the fact that the Chinese were working on a bioweapon. That's already proven, okay? Hands down, I've got all the evidence. The evidence is already out there anyways. I'm not the one producing it. It's people that are, out there in China producing this stuff and, showing this. Okay, so we know a bioweapons was created. Now, was it Chinese incompetence that caused it to spill out and therefore spread throughout the population? Or something that, I'm going down the rabbit hole. I'm just going to go with the extreme here.
Well, boy, before you go down the rabbit hole, Dave, I just want to say to everybody, this is just an opinion. Just for the record.
You can say that fucking disclaimer after I'm done.
All right, go ahead, Dave. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Or you can go down the deepest, darkest rabbit hole and believe that it's very probable that the clowns, if you know what I'm talking about, and I'm sure that Lucky does, that are working out of China purposely released that to us to cause an economic downturn, to weaken Trump, as well as to distract from the impeachment proceedings that are now.
That makes a lot of sense.
A lot of information.
It does make a lot of sense.
And those that are doing this. So the clown.
Because because not only that, look at the fucking timing, man.
That's the point. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah,
so I'll
that
shut
timing
up now
is
and see what
perfect.
you guys think of my crazy conspiracy.
No, man. Listen, the timing. All right, so when me and Lucky were talking about this, and he said, when he was saying it was a man-made thing and blah, 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 I was like, dude, just stop the shit, man. This was because these dudes eat fucking all kinds of fucking nasty animals over there and blah, 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 blah. And then we were talking for at least another 20 minutes after that. And then he said that shit about, well, you notice there's no more like
the Hong Kong protests,
the protesting and this and that. And then it dawned on me, and I said to myself, wow, man, wouldn't that be something? Like, that would be the only thing that would stop some shit like that happening, and like where the person wouldn't get known that they actually stopped this from happening. Like they actually, drove these people back into their homes, basically. And then it like I was like, wow, I looked at it a little bit differently there. So I kind of my thinking on things are kind of changing as I'm listening to shit and seeing more
that's
shit.
good.
For
At
myself.
least you have an open mind.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
not only that,
Nothing wrong with that.
not only that, what Dave just said too, on top of it, with this whole Trump thing, the timing is impeccable, man. And like sometimes timing is on purpose. Sometimes it's not a coincidence.
Well, that's what I said. How convenient.
Yeah, sometimes timing is meant just for that, the timing of it.
Guys, some people in the chat seem to be ignoring the fact, like they're saying, okay, well, coronavirus is not a bioweapon. It's just, what does this guy say? It's just an animal disease. Yeah, you know what? Anthrax is also an animal disease.
You see
Did you know that?
Well, that's what that guy was.
But
that's what
the
that
thing
guy's
is,
saying.
though,
That's how I felt. I felt like, you know.
But
this
we
is
all know that
know?
these naturally occurring pathogens, viruses, and diseases have all been viewed as very profitable by the military-industrial complex, despite the fact that America and Russia signed a treaty in the 70s to stop all development of bioweapons projects. We know they've continued. They've fucking admitted it and stuff. Okay?
Right.
So it goes under different titles now, so it doesn't fall under that, it goes through a loophole. Okay? So the thing is, though, just because certain diseases occur in nature doesn't mean they're then not going to be taken, put into a lab, have $1 billion dumped into them, and a weapon developed that you could depopulate a whole continent and then take the resources.
And if you're telling me that, and if somebody out there says, well, the governments aren't interested in that, then you don't know what the fuck you're talking about then. You don't know what you're talking about then. If you don't think governments are interested in a weapon that could drive people into their homes and fucking kill a couple
in
of
the
hundred, scare the
1950s,
fuck out of
they
everybody.
sprayed several cities, including San Francisco, with some very toxic chemicals just to test it out on the population.
Yeah,
to
they
see how
did,
it
and
would
that's a
respond.
fact. That's a fact right there. That's not no speculation. That's a fact. That shit really happened.
It also goes back to what I was saying earlier. Imagine martial law happen in the United States. You have so many crazy people with weapons. What better way to stop something like that from happening than get people sick?
Yeah.
And
Well, that's
right
the
now
thing,
we have an impeachment trial going on.
I'm not sure that's going to happen in the States, but it is happening obviously in China. And there's a lot of evidence coming out in China where some of the smaller towns, they're actually sort of creating barricades to block people from coming in. They're actually trying to quarantine themselves to block people.
That's nuts. That's nuts.
And here's what's crazy. There's videos that are coming out of doctors that are like pleading for help, that there's no food in the hospitals left. There's people that are boarding up houses because apparently there's infected people inside. There's a video I saw today of this guy trying to get out of a quarantine zone, like trying to break through a window, and the hospital staff trying to hold them, back with the chair and stuff, and they're freaking out. There's a video. Check. This is the worst part. There's a fucking video. There's several videos of people purposely spitting on hospital staff to get them infected.
What?
That's disgusting.
That's in China, though.
That's fucking sick.
Jesus, dude. That is pretty fucked up right there, man.
Right. My feeling also on it is if you stay healthy and you have a good diet, well-balanced diet, you take care of yourself, you get enough sleep.
But Lucky, have you read though that Asian males specifically are 6 times more likely to contract this because apparently they have receptors in their lungs that are much more plentiful than you would find not only in Asian females but in, say, a Caucasian male.
Well, let's say that's true. What would be the reasoning behind targeting the Asian people?
It's a bioweapon, dude.
No, I understand about the
Population.
weapon. I'm saying what would be the reasoning to target one race of people?
Depopulation. China's a threat,
That's what I
and
said.
they've got 1 billion people.
Depopulation has a huge.
By the way,
thing to
guys,
do with it.
the Israelis and South Africa, both in the 1960s and 70s, not only worked on a joint nuclear weapons project, but they also worked on a specific weapon project specifically to target blacks in Africa.
But Dave,
like a bioweapon to kill blacks.
You said earlier that you think that China has nothing to do with the situation. So who would be releasing this bioweapon in order to depopulate China?
Deep state. Clowns in America.
Okay.
Well, listen. It's not only like China's getting this. You know what I mean? This is spreading around to fucking everybody, right?
Well, he's saying the
Yeah, but-
Asians are more susceptible to the actual virus as opposed to Caucasian or African American.
we know China is a symbol for the New World Order. So not only were they slow on closing down transit and quarantine zones and all that, but you've got elements in the West that have allowed for planes to continue to travel to the West with people that are infected on the plane.
Yeah, that's what I was saying before. Why are planes still coming in to the U.S., to Canada, to all these places that...
Except Israel, strangely.
Israel
cut off all
I don't get
access.
it. That's weird shit. Very weird, man. Very weird. It's like they're leaving the door open. You know what I mean?
Again, and that helps with what Lucky is saying, because then you bring it into America, then you've got a reason to declare martial law.
Right, and what better way to stop people than to have people get sick?
Well, listen, they're not only...
That's why I said
it's not only Chinese people, dude. It's also football people.
Oh.
Look at this guy, dude.
No.
This guy's got fucking scars, bro. Look at him.
Oh,
my
no.
God, bro. Look at this dude. What in the fuck, bro?
He's loving it.
Oh, my God, dude. He's living the life, bro.
Oh, he drank
It's a
way too
fucking
much.
fountain of chocolate.
Dude, yeah, that guy ate so much and drank so much that he's just like, I gotta let it all out now. Oh, God damn, bro. Fucking nasty, dude.
That's America in one image.
Oh, fuck, man. That is an American.
Is that why
right
they're
there.
releasing the bioweapons? To kill off people
Yeah, well,
like that?
I mean, hey, if they're killing off people like that, it can't be that bad of a thing. I'm sorry, that's not right. What about this? Wouldn't you love to do this to somebody? Look.
Oh.
Tell me you wouldn't love to do that to somebody. Look.
What movie is that from?
That's Hollywood. Brad Pitt
that,
and
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I haven't seen that.
What a
Me
great
neither.
part that was, man, to the movie, bro. What a great fucking part that was. When you see the movie, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Bashing a woman's head into the wall.
I mean,
It's
it
a
was
great part.
but trust me, you want to see him do this because there's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. There is a reason. But
But we all know that her face would have splattered there on that stone.
Well, the movie, when you're watching it, it gets a little more graphic, so you'll see.
Oh, speaking of whining Asians, there were several whining Asians that complained that Bruce Lee got his ass kicked in that movie.
Oh, yeah, I heard all about that. Yeah, man. There were people like,
idiots.
Bruce Lee, that would have never happened to him.
You offend us, sir.
Yeah, that would have never have happened to Bruce Lee. How could you do that?
Shut the fuck up.
And they were like, oh, calm down. It's a fucking fictional movie, man.
Yes,
Calm the
it
fuck
is.
down. You know? Like, don't take it so serious. People, you know?
It's hilarious. Denmark published, a political cartoon like they always do. Any sort of civilized country does that. And it was like the Chinese red flag, but instead of like, you know how the China's, they got the red flag, the one big star and a bunch of little stars around it?
Yeah.
Well, instead of the stars, it was just like the shape of the coronavirus, which just looks like a little, like a round ball with like the little spikes out of it.
Oh,
So it
shit.
had that. And like China their embassy demanded that they get an apology, and the Danish were like, fuck you, this is like free speech. Go fuck yourselves,
like,
commies.
they're like, fuck that, man.
It's like they put it out there for people to see as like a game.
I can't blame them.
No, it's political commentary. That's what the whole purpose of a political cartoon is to comment on political aspects. And,
Exactly.
Considering China's response and their lack response to the virus and quarantining, it's right to criticize them for the way they acted, as well as to point out that it came from fucking China.
Yeah.
So, like, for people saying, like, oh, we've got to worry about the racism.
Dave, what
about
would be the
this
difference
disease.
if it was released in America first or Canada?
Because, like, they
Would we blame that country because
Yeah,
it was
of course
released?
It just seems like it's always China, doesn't it?
Exactly, you would.
Doesn't it
But
always
you
seem
just
like...
said the Chinese people weren't involved and it wasn't their fault. And that
No, they were involved.
It was a
They're they're the ones that hired the spies to smuggle it out of Canada. They're the ones that try to fuck around with the thing to try to create a vaccine and basically make themselves another weapon to go in their arsenal. And they're the ones that fucked up with their lax ability to contain it.
Fucking bastards.
I got no sympathy for them whatsoever. But here's the thing, though. They don't have any sympathy for themselves either.
No, they don't.
You look at the way that they treat each other, the way that they're willing to, like, you know, like they don't care if other people die and stuff in their own country, their own countrymen and stuff. And the way they treat animals is very sort of demonstrative of...
Oh, it's disgraceful. It's fucking disgraceful.
It is pretty fucked up how, yeah, you're right about
Lock them in
that.
cages and fucking abuse
And it's
them.
not
and torture them.
racist. It's not racist to talk about this sort of thing because there's other cultures that aren't Asian that also treat animals poorly, and we rightfully so criticize them.
That's true.
I mean, in the West, they're humanely put down. And for people to think, well, you know, you can't just go out and kill an animal. It's like, but how do you think it comes into the supermarket or into the restaurant? Like, we're not in like this world where like things are manufactured, like this meat that they want to, you know, have you eat, this simulated meat or the plant-based meat.
That's definitely another good point right there.
And it has more estrogen. It's actually been proven already that this has like 500 times more estrogen that is allowable in one of those Impossible burgers. Apparently, guys are growing tits.
Well, that's vegetarian.
Well, then apparently I've had some of them now.
The thing is, though, remember, it's processed. Okay, these plant-based burgers and shit, they're processed, which means they need a lot of processed ingredients to go in there to hold it together, to give it the flavor, to give it the substance and structure that's necessary for it to feel like a burger.
Processed or regular meat in general, you have to make sure it's cooked thoroughly either way.
Yo, I'm gonna piss real quick. I'll be right back.
No, but it's the content of open range animal like a cow, for example, that is butchered and then eaten on the day of that eats organic is much more healthy than one of these plant-based burgers that's basically genetically engineered in a lab.
Well, hopefully there's not a lot of men out there that eat the Impossible burger. Let's hope.
It's impossible.
Because I read that story and it does have a lot of hormones in it. But how are they still able to sell it to the public?
They're not, basically, because apparently Burger King took a
but
big...
But they do.
No, they have been, but it's like the thing is, though, it's a fad, and it's dropped down in popularity big time, and they took a big hit with their profits, and they're looking... They've actually discounted the burger a lot to see if they can try to sell any more or continue an interest. But, you know, it looks like they're going to end up abandoning it because just like Tim Hortons did up here with their plant-based stuff, nobody cares for it. It's just
well, listen, Dave, before we get out of here, I'm calling foul play on this situation right now. This is a fucked up situation, definitely a foul play. And on top of that, everybody needs to hit that like button. And we have to discuss before we leave one more thing, Dave.
Okay.
Ready?
I'm ready.
All right. I want your opinion on do you know about the firemen in France that are protesting?
Yeah, they set themselves up on fire. They were fighting with the cops.
Right, so I just want to hear your opinion and your thoughts on the whole situation.
Well, the Gilets jaunes, the yellow vests, have been protesting. That's their name, the Gilets jaunes. Gilets.
You said it so nice.
Oh, je parle français.
You speak French, huh?
Parisien, no Québécois. Anyways, so basically, yeah.
Did you just curse at me?
No, I said I speak Parisian, but
okay,
not Québécois. They've been protesting for over a year. It's so sad that the media refuses to cover this stuff. Even the big like foreign media that usually covers this, you know, BBC and stuff, they won't cover it.
Not even
these
them?
guys.
Damn.
What's that?
Not even them, huh?
No. And it's crazy because these people, like, literally, they fill the streets. And, like, when they protest in Europe, they protest. So you've got, like, 500,000 people out on the streets. There's fights with the cops. There's already been, like, at least 20 people killed in these protests. Many people have been, like, maimed or injured. Hundreds have been arrested. There's a lot of discontent in France right now, and it's been going on for over a year. There have been strikes that have been, you know, like paralyzed the city. There's been like gas shortages because these strikes. The president has to be escorted.
Fucking crazy.
The media does not talk about this.
No, none of it does.
Things,
why?
But not others.
Why? Why don't they mention this? Why are they so afraid to mention this?
Because they realize that literally Europe is what's that word? It's about to like go up in flames. Like it's
ticking time bomb.
yeah,
There you
basically it's like
Powder keg.
yeah, it's a powder. Thank you. It's
Yeah.
a powder keg.
Yeah.
Europe right now is ready to go nuts because there's huge costs. The European Union has basically fucked everyone over. They're importing huge number of people that immediately go onto welfare and that never actually work. So despite they're saying we need people to come in to actually work the jobs nobody else wants to work, which is bullshit, they just go immediately to welfare. They already got like 3-4 wives, so it's just like further and further strain on the system, and people they can't afford to live anymore, and it's about to fucking blow up.
It's
All
good to
over
see
Europe.
these people fighting back, though. Don't you feel like it shows like they're starting the first wave of something that could be a revolution in order to take this fucking world back?
Yeah, you're right
yeah.
about that.
It's
know?
very dangerous because they're much more angry than the Americans right now. The difference is when America gets mad, that's when the guns come out, and that's when there's going to be some serious problems.
Well, they try to take guns multiple times. It's never going to happen.
Never.
Well, you know what's crazy is that they had that protest in Virginia the other day,
And it was peaceful.
they went ahead anyways, and they voted in that fucking law.
Yeah. I
So
know.
the next person, like if they try to take guns now in Virginia, you can be guaranteed there's going to be big problems.
Oh.
West
There's a
Virginia,
lot.
thankfully,
There's
wants
a
to.
lot more of
bring
us
them
than them.
Yo, wait, real quick, before we do anything, before we wrap this up, Dave Rose, have you ever heard of the Wild West from the Wild something from West Virginia? Oh, what the fuck is the name of it?
West Virginia.
Yeah, they're from West Virginia. This family that lives in West Virginia, and they're all like gun-toting, fucking like, freedom fighters, like kind of guys. You know what I mean?
Is it a TV show?
No, it wasn't. It's a documentary, and you can find some of it here on YouTube. I think like certain clips and shit. But it's called the Something Wild and Crazy West of West Virginia. There's something.
The wild thornberries.
It's, like if you look at, I'll get the name and I'll send it to you. But it's sick. You got to check it out, man. It's like because you're all into the gun rights and all that stuff. Like these people are like proud owning fucking proud motherfuckers. Like they'll never give up their weapons. Like you're gonna have to kill all of them to get their
That's
weapons.
what's great about humans in general. When you kick us down, we get right back up again.
Why is this guy
Just dust
calling
off
in the
your
middle
shoulders.
of fucking foul play? Why? What could you possibly want to say?
Oh no.
Why?
We're coming to a close.
I mean, what, Tommy? What could you possibly?
We're at the end of the show, Tommy. What's going on?
What's up?
I figured I'd call into one of my favorite.
Yeah.
All right, Tommy. What do you
show
got?
The show you bounced on yesterday.
What do you feel about the coronavirus, Tommy? What's your
I think
take?
it's frightening. I think that I think it's really strange, and I think that also on TikTok they showed a video of a test of something what the blood type, and I don't know, they should be releasing that kind of stuff on TikTok, but they were showing the difference between the blood type of somebody that doesn't have corona and then somebody that does. And
Interesting.
yeah, that's
James
definitely
Worley doing it.
Did James Worley get? Do you hope that James Worley
come
gets
on.
coronavirus? Would you?
I don't know.
That'd be pretty nice if he got that, right? You'd be happy with that, wouldn't you?
Oh, it looks like he's calling me now.
You'd be happy if he got it, wouldn't you? Because he bothers you so much.
I mean, I'm not going to say that here live on air.
Yeah. That's all right. We all know you want it, but all right. But anyway, so they showed that on what app was it again?
TikTok. They showed this
Why
on
would they
TikTok.
do that? Why would they do that on TikTok? I don't get that.
I don't know. I'm like, that seems like something very top secret. Like you wouldn't want to. But everybody's like talking about Resident Evil and like, comparing the company. And I'm like, I looked at the logo myself and I'm like,
Well, look at it right now. It's on your screen.
I
The
love the
logo-
movies. I love the video games.
It's the same
They're
exact
great.
fucking logo, just different colors. I mean, there's no
That's
doubting
outlandish.
it. There's no doubting it. It's the same exact logo.
and people even said like the apparently the city where in the movie in Resident Evil is called Raccoon City, and
Right.
like they're trying to compare something, the words.
And they're saying Wuhan is raccoon in Chinese. A Wuhan.
Yeah,
You know
that's
that.
kind of frightening.
You know that, right, Lo?
No, I didn't know that.
A Wuhan is a
Fun
Chinese.
fact of the day.
Yeah, a Wuhan is. Nah, I'm just fucking around. But
Okay, I was gonna say.
wouldn't that be fucked up though if that was true? Like a Chinese, that means
That
like
would be fucked up.
then you would know that they definitely tied it into Resident Evil because this logo is the same exact fucking logo. There's just no doubt about it. I mean,
Well,
you can't deny it.
The name Badhu, if you look down at the bottom, Badhu translates out to umbrella.
There you
Really?
go. That's so
Yeah.
fucked up,
Holy
man.
shit.
The Umbrella Corporation, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the evil
So-
umbrella.
We're gonna become a bunch of monsters in a couple of years.
No, Tommy, get out of here.
Well, I mean, listen, who knows?
Not
dude?
even close.
Who knows? It might be Resident Evil.
We're
going
gonna
to
be taking this fucking world back.
I hope you're right, man, because you know, I would feel bad that this world goes to shit and I brought kids into it.
Absolutely not.
I'd feel bad about that. Like
Nobody's gonna lay down and take that.
Like I
shit.
brought kids into this world, and like they would be like, "Thanks a lot for bringing me into this fucking shithole." You know what I mean?
We got people like Tommy out there that'll fight back,
Well,
and he'll stay positive.
Tommy, what do you believe in gun rights? Are you like like? What's your honest opinion on
Corona
like?
positive?
Are you Corona positive? No.
I believe that Americans. I even said it in the Crystal and Tommy podcast the other day when I was talking with Crystal on our new podcast.
You want to say it
What?
again? Want to say it
Nice.
again? Get in a third plug real quick. Go ahead.
I did. Is there a problem, Ken, that I could give a plug about my podcast?
It's just so
Tommy, go ahead. What
blatant.
is it?
It's just blatant. It's just you don't do it too good. But go ahead. Go ahead. Finish what you were saying.
I believe I threw it out there like just casually.
I don't know. It was-
All right, fellas.
Go ahead.
I believe that every American should have a gun. I think that it's our Second Amendment. Honestly, we should have the right to bear arms.
It's
I don't think
actually
we should-
Tommy. It's actually the Third Amendment. But I do agree with you. And no, I'm just kidding, Tommy. It is the Second Amendment. I just looked at your face real quick. You're like, no fucking way. No, it's the
I
second.
think he
just-
believes you.
No, but it is the Second Amendment, and I agree with you by what you're saying because I really do truly feel like, hey, listen, 200 and something years of you know what we've been doing this. Like, why would you want to take away the weapons now? Like, I understand. You know, there's people out there that are going to be like, well, if we had no weapons, then none of these kids would be getting shot up in school and this and that. But they still would be because people can get their hands on weapons even if they're illegal. Just like when alcohol was illegal, there was alcohol everywhere. It'd be the same thing with guns. You legalize it, there'll be more. There'll probably be more. So it'd be a very dumb fucking thing to do to
Just
take
like
people's...
the forefathers fought for the country,
Yeah.
it'll be done all over again.
Yeah, so you'll never get rid of weapons. The thing is, you got to put the weapons in the right hands, the right people. You know, the people...
Right, you got to weave out the corruption.
Yeah, like the people that were in that church and shot that guy that was going to fucking kill everybody in that church, but they shot him before he could fucking get to any,
that guy
other
had
people.
a great shot.
And now people are turning around and they're mad at the guy who saved everybody. And they're talking shit about him. He should be ashamed of himself. He
No, who said that?
There was this guy on the internet that attacked him and said that he's the real murderer. I'm like, why?
There's a lot of people. There's newscasters that have done the same. They've
Yeah.
questioned him. and
What was he supposed to do? Let the guy kill everybody in the church?
I guess
that's what
apparently
liberals
so.
want. That's what liberals want.
Yeah,
That's
apparently so.
crazy.
Apparently so. They wanted everybody dead in there. So if it was up to them, we'd all just be fucking, target fucking pieces, So, but you know what?
Before we get
Fuck
out of
'em.
here, man, everybody's better wash their hands.
They'll never get all weapons from us anyway, so who gives a fuck? They can dream all they want. You will never get the weapons from us. So that's just the way it is, and that's the way it's always going to
Never.
be. Because we're Americans. And you know what? Not only Americans, but Canadians are gun-loving fucks too, man, and they love their rights as well. And it's just this
right.
whole area of the world, we love our rights, we love our guns, and don't think you're going to take it from us because you're just
Once
not.
everybody comes together, it's a wrap.
Yeah. Well, that is definite. That is definitely true. Because the numbers always win. Numbers always
That's
win.
hippie talk.
You know?
No, it's not, Dave.
It is.
Regardless of who's the cause, who you want to blame, you could call them anything, clowns, cabal, whatever you want to call them. It doesn't matter who it is. Once the people come together and stop being divided over dumb shit, we're gonna have full control of this fucking world again.
Well, I mean, that's a no-brainer. If people did come together, the numbers always
regardless
win.
of the names.
The numbers always win, bro. Like the bigger, you know what I mean? Like you're stronger with numbers, you know, like that. And then especially if you believe in something and you all believe it and you're like really serious about it and you really love it and you believe it, you'll fight for anything, you know? You'll fight as hard as anybody will, you know? Right. So, I don't know. Anything else to say before we go?
Yeah, take vitamins, wash your hands, get sleep.
And don't fuck with Coronas.
And don't be afraid of the Corona, the Budweiser, or the Heineken virus.
Yeah, because
just
those
live your
viruses,
life.
Those viruses are good because like when you end up with the Heineken or the Budweiser or the like, you know.
I know people are getting sick. I don't want to make a joke.
What about the Pabst Blue Ribbon?
You gotta live your life.
This guy right here had the Pabst Blue Ribbon virus. This guy right here, look. This is called the Pabst Blue Ribbon virus.
That's disgusting, man. Why would you not get up?
I think I'm gonna be. Oh God!
I don't think he could have walked, Tommy. I think he was too drunk.
I'm choking. What's the score of the game?
Sorry.
I've got Corona.
All right. He's got Budweiser virus. But anyway.
Yeah, from Wu-Tang.
Dave, thanks for calling in.
Thanks for taking my call.
Mr. Dave.
Great call, Dave.
And,
at that point, I think it's irresponsible
and a
if
lot of
you're going to
information.
drink that much in public.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, you can't. If you're like that fucked up, you shouldn't be out in public. Anyway, you shouldn't even be out in public.
No, you shouldn't.
But anyway, Tommy, thanks for calling in, Bubby.
And if anybody that's listening to the show wants to, do some, research on the subjects, you want to look up anything that we've talked about tonight, like I said, for the record, it's mostly opinions and speculation. But
yeah, and also go
feel
check
free
out
to do the research.
Yeah, go check out the thing that Lucky mentioned at the beginning of the show as well. I'll put it back up here. The bug. Fucking, you can go and, like he said, you can name a cockroach after anybody you want, and then you can watch the fucking thing get fed to an animal. Isn't that fucking weird? Nasty. All right, but thanks to everybody calling. And thank you guys tonight for being a part of it and shit. And when are we back? I think I'm back either tomorrow.
You got Insomniac.
Yes, Insomniac.
Saturday night.
Yeah, Saturday night Insomniac. Look for that next on Foul Mouths. But I might be on tomorrow as well, but not like live shit, like only on the Patreon tomorrow, I think.
Nice.
And then that's about it. Tommy, you all right? You look like you're about to... You all right, Booby?
What the fuck is going on over
That's
there?
my sneezing face.
You schwarze?
That's
I'm just
disgusting.
kidding. That's a bad word. That's a fucking really bad thing. Look at this guy. He's throwing up chocolate milk. The fuck? Give me a cup of that
He's
right now.
living a life.
Get me a cup of that right now.
He should have just leaned over and vomited in between his legs. That's what he should have
did
done.
you just say vomit? Like a fart and a vomit at the same time? A vomit?
No, I said vomit.
Oh, shit. All right. Well,
that's disgusting.
Listen, man, it's not that bad, dude. You would drink it. Would you?
Tommy, you have anybody you want to
$35
put on the cockroach?
Yeah, Tommy, would you
Not
buy
really.
a cockroach?
I don't have. I have one ex.
How about James Whirlo? Would you, James Whirly, let's name a cockroach Whirly cockroach.
No.
Whirly roach. Let's name it a Whirly roach. What do you say, Sizzling? Tommy, you're looking beautiful, all right? Tomorrow night, guys, the one and only Insomniac makes its return, 9 o'clock Eastern. Come and check it out. We'll have a full crew for tomorrow night. If you can't sleep, come and fucking stay up with us tomorrow night, all right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you check out David Dobrik, because Dobrik going to be hanging. No, I'm just kidding. Tommy loves David Dobrik. He wants to have sex with him.
I don't want to have sex with him.
I know, I'm just kidding. Tommy, welcome to my town. It's called WOOOO, and they're shutting shit down. Good night, everybody.
Peace.
Have a good Friday tomorrow, and be safe. Be safe tomorrow, everybody. Have a great one.
They come into my town and they shut shit down.
WOOOO, I might shut it down. They come into my town and they shut the shit down. WOOOO, they shut it. They tell me that corona here and it's all around. Woo-ha! They shut my town down. They come into my town and they shoot the gun now. Woo-ha! I go into the place and I buy all kinds of groceries because they tell me corona's in the hosiery. Yeah, fuck that, I'm in this place for food. And you know that I'm wearing a thing over my mouth, dude. Because if I breathe in when you cough, I'm at home later on fucking dying. And then I give it to my whole family. And 25,000 people got it. Me and my whole fucking town is totally shut down. Because they told me corona's around. They told my crew and you shut it shit down.